Hi everybody, it's Kelly Klapstein here today, and I'm going to show you the brand new Brother ScanNCut machine. It's a wonderful new cutting machine, and I'm going to play with it today and show you how I make this Christmas card. 'Tis the season, so there's a few elements on here that I will show you how to make. This word art chalkboard peace sign, the cutout star, and the tree. And the papers I'm using on this card today are the die cuts with a view. There's a chalkboard stack, as well as the collage musing stacks for the card base. And I did use the cork stack for the tree, and behind the tree as a layer I used a corrugated neutral in kind of this greeny color. So let's get started with our brother. The first element I'm going to cut in the card is this rectangular piece to hold my peace sentiment. The brother comes with two sticky mats, and I am going to put a piece of the chalkboard paper onto my sticky mat. I just turned off the machine so I can show you how the machine works from start to finish. So you just open it up, and here's your cutting blade. It's easy to pop out, and on the cutting blade you have numbers. So for the deeper cut on this thick cardboard paper, I'm going to put it on number 11. So I'll just pop that back in, turn on my machine, and I'm going to zoom in actually on this part. Try to move my machine a bit and show you what is going on exactly. Okay, the machine comes with this stylus. I turned it on. It gives me a warning about the carriage to be careful about the position. I'm going to put my paper, my mat here. Press this button to load it. And then I have two choices. I have pattern or scan. I'm going to cut out, like I said, this rectangular piece. And so I'm going to choose a pattern. I'm going to go into shapes, and I will choose this shape. Now I have to choose the size of that shape, and I do want it about, here you can choose, I'll choose 4, I think I want it 4¼ inches, 4¼ inches wide. So that's ready to go. I have one of them. I can choose to cut a few of them, but I just want one. And I'll set. It shows where it'll cut on my paper, right there. I choose OK. And I can choose to draw or cut. I'm not using drawing pens today. I'm just going to cut it. So I press cut, and then the button, and the machine starts to work. And it's that quick. Finish cutting. Okay. I'm going to move my machine back into place and zoom out a bit. I will unload my mat, and here I have this perfectly cut rectangle with the rounded edges. Now I'm going to do this chalkboard word art on the chalkboard paper. So to do that, I've just put a plain piece of white cardstock on my sticky mat. For your library of images, there's 700 images or so, 5 fonts, and already loaded up into your machine. So you have shapes that we just cut, you have like holidays, seasons, images, you have word art, you have borders, and then you have your fonts. So we're going to go into the word art, and we're going to find the word peace. It's alphabetical, thank goodness. There it is. I'm going to choose peace. Now I can choose the size of it. So I do want my piece to be about 4 inches wide. I guess it doesn't have to be exact, does it? But anyway, I can also again choose a number, but I just want 1, so I'll leave that. I choose set. I choose OK. Now that my image is ready to go, the piece word art, before I load my mat, I'm going to change, dial down my cutting blade to about 4 for the cardstock, or for the paper that I have, the scrap paper. Pop it back in. I don't want to use the 11 that I used on the chalk paper. Then I will load, choose cut, and press the green play button. Press OK, unload my mat, remove my word. There is a spatula that comes with this, but if I can just pull it off, I don't take it out. There's my piece word. And now I'll show you what I'll do with the piece word on the chalkboard. Here I put it on here. Well, that looks good by itself. But how do I achieve that chalk effect? Well, I have my Galaxy marker, my American Crafts Galaxy marker, and it's white. And it says it's a paint-like ink for dark and light paper. And this is what I do. I just outline it. So I'll zoom in. You can ignore my lack of a manicure. And basically what you do is you just hold your word art in place and outline it with the chalk. Outline it with the marker. And then I just basically scribble in with the marker. That's all I do. I just scribble it in. I chose the peace sentiment because this card is actually for a teacher, using the chalkboard, the cork, and I thought that was kind of appropriate for a teacher card. Now I'm going to show you how I made this cork tree using the Library of Images in ScanNCut. So let's go to Home, and I'm going to go to Pattern. I'm going to find a rectangle that I like to use for the tree, this one. I'll choose it. And the height I want to be 3.5 inches. Okay, I only want one. I could cut a whole bunch of trees, but I'm not going to. I'll do set, and there it is on my paper. However, you can see that I have a tree trunk, so I am going to add another shape, rectangle, to the bottom of my tree. I click Add. I'm hoping everybody can see this. I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. Move this, there. And I'm going back into my basic shapes, and I'm going to choose this rectangle here. And I don't want it to cut across. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I want it to, it does go on the bottom of the tree, so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Press OK. And I want it about 1 inch wide. So I'm going to tap it down until I have it to 1 inch. There I go. I have one of them. I click Set. And I am going to now put that on the bottom of my tree. I'm going to choose the Select Shape button. I have this chosen. I'm going to move it up here like so. And I want to weld it. So I will choose both patterns, press OK, and then I will click Outline. So I end up with an outline of the tree. It says OK to weld pattern outline. It's irreversible. Yes, I'm going to take a risk. There's my tree. So I'm going to click OK. Now, the cool thing about this is I can create anything I like, and I could save it to the machine, or I could save it to a USB. So I'm going to save it to the machine. It's saving it. It's coming up as number 32, which is okay with me, and I press OK. Now I do want to cut it out. So I have my sticky mat. I better zoom out. I can remember which way my zoom goes. I have my sticky mat and my cork. Let's move the machine a bit. And I'm going to put my cork face down. And remember, my blade is on a 4 for the paper, and I will change it to, I think, back up to 10, 11. Pop it back in, super easy. Then I'm going to press Cut and the green button. Okay, finish cutting, unload my mat, and here is my corkboard tree. The cool thing about the corkboard paper is it has an adhesive backing, so you can just then peel off the backing to whatever you cut or make, and then adhere it to your project. All right, and the last item I'm going to show you on this card is how to scan and make your own hand-drawn star for the Christmas tree. So basically, I'm going to take a piece of paper, put it on my sticky mat, and I have a Sharpie marker. So I will smooth this a bit, and because it's a card for a teacher, I want the star to look like a freehand drawn star. Some of you are expert drawers, but I am not, and that's okay. And it can be any shape and size, and I'll show you why. And I'll draw a few just so I can pick and choose which star I like at the end of the day. I'm choosing a black marker so it can scan easily and recognize the scan. And let's do a big one. Okay, there are my stars. And that's the cool thing about this machine, is that I'm going to make sure my blade is at, what is it at? It will be at, for this to scan it, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to be cutting the chalkboard paper, so I want it at 11. Okay. So first, let's load up our paper. Great. I'm going to choose Scan this time. I'm going to do Scan to Cut Data and press the Go button. And the machine is going to drag my whole piece of paper through and scan it. So make sure if you're doing this, you have nothing behind your machine to block it, going back and forth the 12 inches. And you can see it's recognizing it. I'll zoom in again. It's recognizing it. And you can see the stars right here that have been scanned. So I'm going to choose, there's different options. I can choose outlines of the stars. I can choose regions to cut, and I can just choose direct cut the stars on the line. So I'll choose that. I'm going to drag in my box just to those stars there, and I'm going to click Save. I'm going to again save it to my machine, my ScanNCut machine. It's file 33, okay, and I am done that. Now I'm going to unload my mat, and I'm going to put my chalkboard paper onto my sticky mat. Okay, I'm going to cut out a star from the chalkboard paper that's loaded up. I'm going to go into Pattern, Save Data. I'm going to go into my cutting machine data, look at my files, they're all visual. Here are my stars. There's 4 of them. I'm going to choose OK, but remember I said I'm going to draw a bunch and not necessarily cut a bunch of them. So I'm going to choose this symbol up here on the top left, which will allow me to select any of those stars that I choose. And if I can't see it, I can enlarge and see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which star do I like the best? So let's go back, and I can choose this star or this star or this star. So let's say I do choose the biggest star. You know what I can do now is I can resize it to any size I like. I can choose width or height. So let's move it down here. I'll just show you. I'll make it really wide. Or I want it really small to go on top of my tree. Let's put it back up there. I'm going to choose that star. No, I'm not. I'm going to go back to this star, choose OK. I'm going to choose my other stars, and I'm going to delete them because I don't want them cut. So I pick this garbage can icon and I delete them. And then I have my 1 star left, so I don't like to waste paper. I'm going to move it in this position, but you know what? I still want it a little bit smaller than that. There, it's really tiny. Okay, I'm ready to go. Click OK and OK and OK, and I click Cut, and I press my green cutting button. That was fast. I click OK and unload. And here is the star for the top of my tree. Pretty cute. And it's hand drawn, and I don't have to cut anything. So what I ended up doing with this star, I'll just show you close up, is I again took my marker. Remember, here's my tree. That's that star at the top. And I took my American Crafts Galaxy marker and I just simply outlined it like so. There. And there I have the star at the top of the top of a tree. And it's that simple. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial with the News Brothers ScanNCut, and I will have more tutorials in the future as well. Thanks for joining me.